Despite travel ban, thousands of American tourists are trying to enter Canada.
Here's a summary of the article.
Despite the travel ban between Canada and the U.S., thousands of American tourists have still been trying to enter Canada. About 87% of the tourists were American and many have been trying to visit for non-essential purposes. Of that number, 827 Americans were trying to visit for recreational purposes. There were 1,024 travelers from other countries, but the Canada Border Services Agency did not specify where they were from. Of those 1,024 non-American travelers, 226 were coming to Canada for tourism. The Canada-US border has been closed to non-essential travel since March 20. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced the border closure would see another extension until July 21. However, many Canadians would like to see it extended even longer. Reopening the border anytime soon also has health officials concerned.
This post received a score of 26,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
When Americans come here, they're not sending their best. Canada.
Maybe we should build a wall, eh?
We build our wall, Mexico builds theirs, then we each chip in to put a lid on top.
The article cites non-essential shoppers being turned away. Are they letting essential shoppers in? What does that include? Does cheap prescriptions qualify?
Greater than are they letting essential shoppers in? They're letting in Americans who claim they're driving up to Alaska.
I live in Alaska and from what I remember, you have to show proof you're an Alaskan resident that's only traveling through Canada to get to Alaska for them to let you pass. Is this not the case? You have to be an American citizen only, have no symptoms, and have a viable reason for going to Alaska, but there have been reports of Americans at restaurants and tourist destinations. There was one report of 4 people from Texas who bragged in a restaurant about saying they were going to Alaska as a ruse.
Why can't Canada deny entry to drive to Alaska like when Trump banned steel imports due to national security?
I think it has to do with the US paying and building the highway to Alaska during WW2. After it was built, the US and Canada agreed on maintaining the road and right-of-way for Americans.
Well then Americans should only be allowed on that road and should be deported if they end up somewhere else.
Or they should be forced to do a 14-day quarantine at the border. That would stop it quick. Put them in a camp.
We could even call it ICE. Immigration Control A.
This is how you report them. Canada Border Services Agency Border Watch line at 1-888-502-9060.
And you can only report Monday to Friday face with rolling eyes.
Guessing till only around 1:30 Pacific time. Right about when I wake up in the morning. I'm Canadian and work as a server. After a meal a woman was paying and she casually said she was American and was supposed to be in 2-week isolation. Somehow they're still getting up here.
Report.
Call the police.
As a Canadian, it infuriates me that our government has not closed these loopholes.
Since they're illegally crossing the border, you guys should detain them in cages for a while. I'm unsure if it's possible to cage a Karen, though. Doesn't their acid-secreting skin just melt the wires? We couldn't even build a glass prison like for Magneto. They can shriek at a pitch that'll shatter glass for miles around. And just wait till you meet their husbands. Don't you know who they are?
I imagine their husbands would voluntarily enter isolated cages. They probably need the time away.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.